Back in July, Donald Trump himself said on television that banning TikTok could be a great way to get back at the Chinese government for its handling of the coronavirus pandemic. So it was made patently clear, publicly clear right up front before any of this unfolded that this was not about real data policy issues. This was not about real security issues. This was about political posturing, about distracting from a disastrous pandemic at home.
Justin, it's hotly out in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, we're counting down the days to November 4th, and it's something that the Biden team has made quite clear that they also believe that they should be tough on China. We heard from former U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry just a few days ago on Squawk Box U.S., and he was essentially saying, we were tough on China as well. This isn't something that we weren't already doing. But do you believe that this is just the tip of the iceberg? Because whoever wins on November 4th, even if that election is contested, they're going to keep the pressure on, don't you think?
Yeah, that's true in a general sense, right? Hopefully, there will be a change where we have actual policy and actual strategy going on and not just this whack-a-mole. But yes, absolutely, right? This is not something that's going to go away. This is not going to be the first time that security and supply chain questions are raised about Chinese tech companies or about foreign software. And so that's really why what's key here is not this whack-a-mole that we see now, but building a long-term strategy and a long-term policy that really deals with these risks in a comprehensive way.
And when it comes to what happens post-November 4th, obviously, this is TikTok. Now we're talking about SMIC. What other companies do you see coming under scrutiny in the short term?
Well, we've seen Huawei, right, the Chinese telecom, which is supplying a lot of 5G infrastructure around the world, come under a lot of scrutiny. I don't think that's going to change. As you referenced, semiconductors is another contentious space, as is artificial intelligence, right? There are several emerging technology areas we can identify where there is cooperation, yes, but there's also competition. There are also security risks. And so we're going to see, as I said, more attention to these firms and policymakers asking the question of, yes, we get lots of benefits from this interconnection, but where are their risks and what should we do to address them?
And just from the policy perspective there, on Capitol Hill, we've seen so many moves on both sides of the aisle to crack down on China. But do you get a sense that these folks in Congress, and I used to cover Congress, so I have an idea of how many of them have actually ever worked in business prior to becoming politicians. Do you get a sense that they understand about how this could actually impact the U.S. economy?
I think there's some understanding, as you referenced, right? They do get that this is problematic. And actually just several hours ago, one of the trade associations in the U.S. that includes Google and Facebook signed in favor of TikTok's lawsuit against the government for exactly that reason. They think this is problematic, which it is, right? This meddling and this cronyism in business. As for the tech side of this, though, that's a situation in which policymakers tend to be less familiar. And so while there may be awareness of the business risks of these kinds of half-baked policy actions, I think one of the big steps going forward for folks like myself and others who work with folks on the Hill is really building better understanding of these technology issues so we have that long-term strategy that looks to the future.
When it comes to TikTok, I just wanted to follow up on my earlier question about there being a political motive. Do you think the president would prefer to see the app shut down entirely? Because I know that there's been some talk about TikTok millennials out there in the United States having bad things to say about the president. It was implicated in a rally where there was a low turnout number as well. What do you think on that front?
I don't think we can exclude that that's a motive here, right? We already saw the president sign a legally baseless, pretty concerning executive order months ago, essentially trying to bully social media platforms into censoring speech he doesn't like. So I definitely think that's one concerning thing here. As for what the outcome he wants is, I think that's continually shifting. It's, as with many things with this president, hard to predict. He did say he wanted a ban. Now we see that the person at the helm of Oracle, who's a billionaire Trump fundraiser, may be the beneficiary of this entire episode. And so I think we just have to wait and see what the Trump administration says about this proposed Oracle, Walmart, TikTok partnership.